Hello students, welcome to class 10 physics class. Today we discuss all about the spherical mirror and its types. In previous video we discussed mirror and its types. And mirror are two types. One is a plane mirror, another one is a spherical mirror. Plane mirror, the image formed by a plane mirror and what are the characteristics of that image, we also study in last video. Today's video we discuss about the another one type of mirror, that is spherical mirror. So spherical means a sphere. The structure looks like a sphere. So spherical mirror, we can say that it is a part of hollow glass sphere whose one surface is polished. Polished means shiny, reflecting surface. Clear? Depending upon this reflecting surface position, innerwards or outerwards the reflecting surface, the spherical mirror are two types. One is a concave mirror, another one is a convex mirror. Concave mirror, whose inner side is or inner surface is a reflecting surface, polished surface. Outer surface, unpolished surface. And why we say that concave mirror is another one type of spherical mirror? Because if we join this one with a dotted line, it looks like a sphere. So it is a part, this portion, it is a part of a spherical mirror whose outer surface is unpolished and inner surface or inner side is a reflecting surface. Concave looks like this way. Inner side is a reflecting surface, outer side is a unpolished surface. So concave looks like this way. Concave. Okay. Another one type is convex mirror, just opposite to the concave mirror. It is also one type of spherical mirror because you see that here if we join with a dotted line, it looks like a sphere. But what is the difference with concave mirror? Its inner surface is unpolished but outer surface is a polished or reflecting surface like this. So outer surface is a polished surface and inner surface is a unpolished surface. Clear? So for concave, inner side reflecting surface, for convex, outer side reflecting surface. So this two position, reflecting surface position is different in these two cases. That's why spherical mirror are two types. One is a concave mirror, cave like structure. Another one is convex like that structure. Clear? Okay. Now we also studied in class 7, concave mirror is called a converging mirror and convex mirror is called diverging mirror. But why? So it is a property of concave and convex mirror. So concave mirror is called converging mirror. Converging means all light rays after reflection, they will converge at a point on the principal axis. Later we also define this terms, principal axis, focus. Okay. So after reflection, all rays are converged to a point. That's why concave mirror is called a converging mirror. So in this diagram you see that this is a concave mirror. This is a principal axis in between which is connected with a P. P means pole, middle point of a concave mirror. These two are the incident ray. It is incident on the mirror, and after reflection you see that the first ray and this one ray pass through a one point on the principal axis, and second one also passing through the same point on the principal axis. That means we say that after reflection all rays are converged to a point. Converge, that means like this way. They will converge at a point, and that point is called focus on the principal axis, where all reflected rays are converged after reflection from the concave mirror. That point is called focus, and because of this reason concave mirror is called converging mirror, or we can say that it is a property of concave mirror to converge the light rays at a point. Okay, like that way the convex mirror also called diverging mirror, because diverging means they will diverge the rays of light from a point. They will converge to a point and they will diverge from a point. So convex mirror is called diverging mirror because all light rays reflected by a convex mirror diverges from a point behind the mirror, and this point we assume that behind the mirror from a point is there from where this light rays will diverge. Okay, this is the one property of convex mirror, and that's why the image formed by a convex mirror always a virtual and erect. We also studied last class virtual means the image which cannot be obtained on the screen. That means when we see ourselves into the plane mirror, we consider behind the mirror from us at any point the rays will come. That's why we see ourselves into the mirror. But it is not happen. It is a property. Okay. Same way, the convex mirror, because the upper surface is a reflecting surface, so when the incident ray incident on this mirror, it will diverge in another way. So now with a dotted line, if we join this two, we consider two rays, many rays are there. If we join that reflected rays, we see that they all reflected ray join join at a point at a point on the principal axis, that is called focus. That's why we say that behind the mirror from any one point at a point the light rays will diverge. That's why the convex mirror is called diverging mirror. Clear? Convex mirror is called diverging mirror. Okay. So these are the ray diagrams for converging and diverging for concave and convex mirror. Now we discuss some terms. Okay. That is principal axis, focus. What is the meaning of that? So let's start with that definition. First one is a principal axis. Principal axis, this is a main axis or the main line which joining the pole and the center of curvature is called principal axis. Okay, so in this figure, if we see this figure, these terms for both mirror is applicable. Okay, that's why I will draw the both diagram for concave and convex also. So this is the concave. If we join with a dotted line, it is a sphere, looks like a spherical mirror. So any sphere has a center, and because we use for concave and convex, we considered a part or one aperture of the spherical, one small part. That's why this Mn is called aperture, which represent the spherical mirror, which is a part of a spherical mirror. So, and in this aperture, if we consider any one is a center, this center of this mirror for both cases, it is denoted by P, it is called pole. So the line which join these 2 points, center of curvature, center and pole, that line is called principal axis. In this case also same, this is a center of curvature. If we join with a dotted line, it looks like a sphere, and every sphere has a center. So this is a center and it is a part of a sphere. That's why this is called, Mn is called aperture. In this aperture, if we consider any point in between this aperture or in the middle part at the center of the mirror, that point is called pole, and the line which join these 2 points, pole and curvature, this is called principal axis. Is it clear? Okay. Now next term is pole. So already we discussed pole. This is a center of a spherical mirror or concave or convex mirror. It is denoted by P. It is a center of this mirror. Aperture is a one part of a spherical mirror, or we can say that it is the effective diameter of a spherical mirror. In both diagram, Mn represent the aperture. Center of curvature, already discussed. The center of curvature is the center of a hollow glass sphere. That means if we join with a dotted line, it looks like a hollow glass sphere and it has a center, and that center is called center of curvature because we use here one curvature or one aperture. That's why this center is called center of curvature, and this case also center of curvature. Clear? And it is denoted by C. Now this is a sphere, so C to P, this is the radius of this sphere. Clear? From here also C to P, or anywhere in a sphere, if we from point center to any direction towards the curvature, if we join a straight line, that gives us the radius. So C to P, this distance between center of curvature to pole gives us the radius of curvature of this spherical mirror. So the distance between center of curvature to pole, okay, or it is a radius of a spherical mirror, that is called radius of curvature, and it is denoted by capital R. Now next is focus. Focus is a point on the principal axis where all parallel light rays actually meet or appear to meet after reflection. Why we say that? Because in case of a concave mirror, they will actually meet on that point, but in case of a convex mirror, we join that reflected ray with a dotted line, and we see that they will meet at a point on the principal axis, that is called focus. That's why because this is we consider, that's why we say that appear to meet after reflection, and this is actually meet. So the point on the principal axis where parallel light rays, it is, keep it in your mind, which type of the light rays is parallel. If not parallel, then it will not pass through the focus. So parallel light rays actually meet or appear to meet after reflection is called focus, and it is denoted by capital F. Clear? Okay. Now next one and the last term is the focal length. The distance between focus to pole, F to P, distance between focus to pole is called focal length, and it is denoted by F. And practically it is proved that radius of curvature is twice of the focal length. So the relation between R and F, that is equals to F equals to R by 2, that means R equals to twice F. So radius of curvature is 2. This is also f, this is also f. So twice of the f. Radius of curvature, that is equals to twice of the f, or f equals to small f, that is a focal length, that is equals to half of the radius of curvature. Okay. So first one is a principal axis. Next one is a pole. It is a center of a spherical mirror. It is denoted by P. Aperture. It is a part of a spherical mirror or that curvature Mn. Center of curvature. It is a center of the hollow glass sphere of which mirror was a part. It is denoted by C. Radius of curvature. The distance between C and P, that means pole and center of curvature. It is denoted by R. Focus. It is a point on the principal axis where all parallel light rays actually meet or appear to meet after reflection. Actually meet, this happens in case of a concave mirror. Appear to meet, it happens in case of a convex mirror. After reflection, it is called focus. It is denoted by capital F. Focal length, the distance between focus and the pole P, F and P, that is called focal length. And practically it is proved that the focal length of a mirror is half of its radius of curvature. F equals to R by 2. Please keep it in your mind, this relation, F equals to F equals to R by 2. So it is clear, these definitions? Okay. You do one thing, pause this video and write down every definition in your copy, then you understand it. Okay. After that again you see this video with your copy. From that copy you can tally this terms, then you can understand easily. Okay, now next topic is rules for making ray diagrams by spherical mirror. This chapter is many ray diagrams are there because it's related to light. So the diagram is related to light or ray, that's why this is called ray diagram. And here we discuss about the spherical mirrors. So in last class we discussed the ray diagram by a plane mirror for a point object and a large object. Now for spherical mirror there are some rules for making a ray diagram. So when we draw the ray diagram, for both cases, concave and convex, we have to keep our mind these rules. We follow these rules. Otherwise, we cannot draw the ray diagrams properly. Okay, so let's start with the first rule. First rule is, if a light ray is parallel to the principal axis, this is a principal axis for concave, this is a principal axis for convex. Whatever the incident line, that incident ray of light must be parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so parallel to the principal axis, it is must. The type of the ray, that is parallel ray. So a parallel ray, a ray parallel to the principal axis, after reflection it is passed through the principal focus. It is passed through a principal focus. In case of a concave mirror and in case of a convex mirror, what happened? It's appeared to move. That means after reflection, we draw with a dotted line behind the mirror and we see that it will touch with at a point on the principal axis, and this point is called focus. Clear? So our parallel ray of light to the incident on a mirror, either concave or convex, after reflection it will pass through the principal focus. So when we draw any parallel light, incident ray of light, after reflection we pass it through the, or we draw it passing through the focus. This is the first rule. Second rule. Second one, if the incident ray is directly incident on a pole, that means obliquely to the principal axis towards a point P. P means pole. or directly incident to the pole. Then after on a concave mirror or a convex mirror, from pole it will be reflected back. After reflection from pole or from P, it will be reflected in another direction. In these cases, they will follow the laws of reflection. In all cases, in this case also, and this is a normal, so this angle and this angle is same. Okay, this is a normal, and this normal always touch with or meet with a point that is called center of curvature. So this, they also follow the laws of reflection. Whatever the diagram, they all diagrams maintain or follow the law of reflection. So if incident ray incident on a pole, after reflection it will be reflected from the pole in another direction. So it will create an angle I and R. This is the incident angle, angle of incidence, angle of reflection. In this case, same thing here. So I, and this is R incident ray. After that, it will be reflected back from pole. So in this case, we cannot use any dotted line because it will incident directly on the pole. That's why we cannot use any dotted line in this case. Okay. First case, if parallel line, after reflection, it will pass to focus, both cases. Second one, if directly to the pole, it directly incident to the pole, then it will be reflected from the pole in another direction or another side of a parallel principal axis. Third one, what is the third number rule? Third number rule, if any ray or when a ray is incident through a center of curvature, directly to the center of curvature, then it reflected back or reflected ray also follow or also back along the same path. That means if it will incident through this path, this is a center of curvature to the mirror, then it will be reflected back along the same path, this path only. So in this case also, this is the center of curvature. We use this is dotted line because it is behind the mirror. So when behind the mirror, we use the dotted line, because actually in reality it has no there is no dotted line is there, no point is there, that's why. So when a ray is incident through a center of curvature, after reflection, reflected ray back along the same path. Clear? Fourth number rule. There is four rules are there for making a ray diagram by a spherical mirror. When a ray incident through a focus, just opposite to the first one. First one is parallel ray incident on a mirror, and after reflection they will pass through the focus. Now if ray incident through a focus, after reflection the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. This diagram also the same here. This is a incident ray incident on a focus. We use a dotted line. Okay. After that, after reflection, it will be parallel to the principal axis. It will be parallel to the principal axis. So once again we discuss this one in short. First one, incident ray parallel. After reflection, reflected black pass to the focus. Second number, if directly it is incident on a pole, it will reflect it from pole on the another side of the principal axis. If the ray is incident through a center of curvature, after reflection, reflected ray also follow the same path or back along the same path. And fourth number rule is, if ray incident through a focus, after reflection, reflected rays are parallel to the principal axis. Is it clear? So these rules, you please keep it in your mind. So it will help us when we draw the ray diagrams in case of a concave mirror and also convex mirror. In next video, we discuss the ray diagrams for image formed by a concave mirror and convex mirror, and the uses of concave and convex mirror. Okay, so if you have any query, any doubt, any problem related to this video, please write in the comment box. Thank you. Have a nice day.